What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talking Blue. I'm Matthew Mooney, and by the title of this video, you could tell we are going to be talking about the edge on the Giants and if we should sign an edge rusher in free agency. Before I get started, I just want to let you guys know soon we're going to be coming out with an off-season blueprint, which will be show you guys exactly how the Giants can be a lock to make the playoffs next year. Okay, it's gonna sound crazy, but that's just we're gonna show we think the Giants should do to make the playoffs, like to ensure themselves a playoff spot. We've been playing it out for a while, and it's gonna finally come out soon. So yeah, let's get started. So let's talk about the current edge, like what we have now. Before I talk about any outside free agents, we'll talk also a lot about this on the blueprint. But let's talk about Thibodeaux first. He's our only franchise caliber guy at the position, drafted fifth overall in 2022 out of Oregon, and he is my favorite Giant on the current team, as you guys may know. And I feel like he's definitely gonna be here for a long time. And once he's a free agent, we got to give him his money. He's gonna be really good for years to come. And I think having him on one side of the edge is great. And I think, I think he's the biggest part of the future of our defense. And there are a lot of bright spots, young bright spots on the defense that the Giants currently have. And that we have a very young defense that's going to be good for many years. Well, should be good for many years. And now I want to talk about Ojulari. We drafted him in the second round of the 2021 draft. Not an awful draft pick. I think he's got a lot of potential. He looked like a first round caliber pick. So it looked like a great draft pick that Dave Gettleman made at the time. What his rookie season, he looked like a great rookie in his rookie year, but he's been injured the last 2 years and he's got a lot of potential, but promise means nothing if you don't have the results. Obviously, you start out coming to the league with promise, and promise is exciting and all, and it makes a lot of fans happy. But if you're not getting the results you get, the promise means nothing really. Then it's just a waste of, I don't even know what I was gonna say, but like, it's just not something like that should be focused on if you don't get the results you should be getting when you have promise. Like there's promise and you have no results, then means nothing. And he seems like a waste of a roster spot, just like constantly injured, just you know, never playing. Like I think he's gonna have to like okay, depending on what it is, if it's not that serious, he's gonna have to play through something. You've seen guys play through some injuries that aren't that serious. Obviously, if he tears his ACL, that's one thing. But if he kind of hurts his hamstring a little bit, he's gotta like play through a little bit of it, depending on how bad the strain is. If the pain is minor, you gotta find a way to play through some kind of pain in life. And lastly, I want to talk about Jihad Ward. Great depth piece. I don't think he's a starting caliber player in the league, but I think he's a very solid depth piece. And when he's had to fill in for Ojolari, he's been what we needed. He's really been like a lot of what we asked for. He's fast. He's a great pass rusher. Uh, he he brings a lot of energy to the team. He's a great team guy, great locker room guy. Yeah, I mean, the teammates love him, the fans love him. I love him. So does Luke. Yeah, I think he's a solid player. But like, if we let him walk in free agency this year, it's not the end of the world. We could definitely fill that void up easily in free agency. Now let's talk about the four top free agent edge targets. And there's one guy I want to talk about at the end who's not like a big time free agent, but he'd be good if the Giants got him as well. If we get one of these guys, that'd be great. Let's talk about most obvious one. He's on the thumbnail of this video. Josh Allen, edge rusher, well, outside linebacker from Jacksonville. I think he's the best guy out of these four, a lot of these five guys I'm about to name. And I think there's a honestly like a decent sized chance that the Giants bring him in. He's going to be an expensive guy to bring in, but I think we could possibly bring him in with like it's gonna cost a lot of money, but probably like 20, 21 million a year. That's probably what I'd give him. He's I think only getting paid. like and down below if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's currently getting paid something like sorry. Sorry, I'm blanking, guys. I think isn't he only getting paid like 2 million or something? That's probably gotta be from his rookie deal. And like I said the other night, that the Giants should have drafted him six overall in the 2019 draft. We could already have if we did that, we could already have him, and we'd have to worry about paying him now unless like we extended him already. But assuming he doesn't resign with not Nashville, sorry, Jacksonville, I think there's a good chance that the Giants could bring him in. I think he'd be a great fit. Him and Thibodeaux on the edge would be insane. I don't think anyone would stop the edge. Next up, another great guy on the list. I think he's another great option. Brian Burns, outside linebacker from Carolina. Um, Another really more of the same, another great target. He was a rookie that year as well in 2019-20 when Josh Allen got drafted. I think he's one of the best players from that draft class. Obviously Nick Bosa is the best edge from the draft. There's like no debate about it, but I think Brian Burns is like one of the best. He's been excellent defensively for Carolina, like a team that has not been well. It's been a good team for a while, and I think he's their biggest bright spot on defense that they currently have. And if we could bring him in, like just like Josh Allen, that would also be huge, but it would be a lot of money though. Now here's like a slightly cheaper option. Bryce Huff, kind of an obvious pick. He's been rumored to go to the Giants. He's from the Jets. In case you guys didn't know. Um, I think he'd be another a great option. Like I don't think he's as good as Josh Allen or Brian Burns, but I think he'd be another guy. If he's another guy, I would definitely like to see us bring in. And if we did bring him in, I'd be very happy. Hopefully he could help stop the run. And I think if assuming we bring him in. ESPN has been like posting a lot saying that the Giants could bring him in. Like a lot of people on ESPN think it's going to happen. I think there's a good chance it happens. There's a solid chance it happens as well. It would be an easy transition. You don't even change stadiums. You don't even have to move houses. You don't change cities. You get to stay in your current house. You don't have to like go far away. It would be an easy transition for Bryce Huff to come from the Jets to the Giants if he doesn't extend with the Jets. So he's another guy I would definitely like to bring in. And lastly, like out of like the four stars, Danielle Hunter, edge from Minnesota. Obviously, the Vikings had a down year this year and one of the worst defenses in the league. But Danielle Hunter's definitely their bright spot on defense for sure. He's fun to watch. We posted back, I think in June or May, like way back when, like before last season even like came close to starting us possibly trading for Danielle Hunter, and he'd be a good piece. I think if we brought him in now, it would be probably the most expensive guy to bring in. Some people are saying he's gonna get like 27 million a year. I think that's ridiculous. I would give him like 20, 21, 22, 23 million, like around there, like in that price range per year. But I don't know. I mean, he's another guy I would definitely like to bring in. We need just another guy on the edge because like Ojulari is not something we can rely on. Thibodeaux's a franchise guy, and I think bringing in one of those four guys would be awesome. Now let me talk about one other guy before I wrap this up. Let's talk about AJ Epinesa, edge rusher from Buffalo. Not like a superstar edge rusher, but you have the Buffalo connection with Joe Shane and Brian Dable. I know Brian Dable's the offensive coordinator, but still, I mean, he's a guy he'd like to bring. He's again, Epinesa is a guy I'm sure both of them would want to bring in. If we can't get like a star pass rusher, if we can't get one of the four guys I just named, he'd be a much cheaper option as well. He'd probably only be like 5 million a year. And if we want to get a cheap edge rusher, there's your guy. Um, Also another good thing about him is he is excellent at stopping the run from what I've heard. And I think he'd be another guy. I think he'd like really help us stop the run. That's been our issue on defense, just stuffing the run. And if we can stop the run for once, I think our defense will get even better. I think that's our one weakness on defense, really stopping the run. And once we'll be able to do that, we'll probably be a top three defense in the league. And I think the defense has potential on being top five. I think it's a top 10 defense in the NFL. So yeah, I mean, I think Epinesa, like, I think bringing him in would be great. If like, but the priority should be on edge to bring in Josh Allen or Brian Burns. That's who I'd go for. Um, Another thing is like, I mean, I want us to focus more on offense this offseason, but like defense, I think we should definitely sign a edge rush in free agency. Also, guys, comment down below who you guys want us to sign in free agency. What edge guys you want us to sign in free agency. Whether it's one of the guys I just named or maybe someone else I didn't name, because the edge free agent class is really good and one of the biggest strong parts of the offseason. And we'll see what happens. So yeah, that was it for the episode. If you guys enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later. Let's go Giants.